Okay, so in this video, we're going to use Silhouette Studios to create a faux rhinestone design, or what we also like to call spangles. So first thing we're going to do is grab some text, and then we're going to size our text and select the font. The font that I'm using today is called Bouncy Block. It can be found on Oh So Fontsy. All right, so here we have our font. And right now it's about 15. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit to about 14, and we can resize it at the end once we have it the way we want it. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you want to add some outlines around your font. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is add an offset because we are going to have two layers of vinyl as well. So we're going to click the offset panel, and then we're just going to drag our offset to the size that we want it. And again, there's no specific number. You just want to pick what looks good for you. So this first offset is basically going to be a knockout. So let's go about right there. Go ahead and hit apply. And we're going to apply a white color to this knockout just because it's going to represent the white shirt that's going to be in the background. Next step, I am going to make this a compound. So under the modify panel, we're going to go ahead and hit make. That's going to bring it all into one piece. Let me go back to the offset. Let's make the second offset. All right, we're going to go ahead and hit apply. And let's just make this one a burgundy color. Okay. So basically, this is what we have right here. We have our black, which is going to be our first color of HTV. Our white is actually going to represent the knockout for our shirt. So you're going to do a knockout there. And then the burgundy is going to represent our second color of HTV. Okay. Now from here, we're going to add in our rhinestone pattern. So we're going to grab our burgundy layer, and the number of rhinestones or how much flair you want to have on your design is totally up to you. You can do 3 layers. The ones that I've typically been doing have been 5. So we're going to go ahead and do 5. So we're basically going to make 5 offsets. And again, you can adjust these as you see fit. This first row is going to be how close the rhinestones are going to sit next to the vinyl. So we're going to put that about there. Go ahead and apply. The color here doesn't matter. And now we're going to set another offset, but we want to make it a little bit further away. So we're going to increase it just a little bit. Hit apply. We're going to do a third offset. Again, with each offset, I'm just increasing it a little bit just to give the spacing between the rhinestone layers. Hit apply. Fourth offset. Apply. Oh, let's go back to that one. Undo. We're going to a little bit too far off. Apply, and then our fifth offset. Let's do, oops, that's going all the way down. All right, there we go. Okay, so now I have 5 offset layers from my vinyl piece. So I'm going to grab that first rhinestone layer, or sorry, that first offset. I'm going to come down here to the rhinestone panel. Now you need at least designer edition to be able to use the rhinestone panel. So if you have designer edition or above, then you should be fine. All right, we're going to go ahead and hit rhinestone. We want the outline. And then you can select your standard sizes here, SS6, 10, 16, or 20. For this purpose, it doesn't really matter that you get an exact rhinestone size because you're not actually using rhinestones. You're going to use HTV. So you can go ahead and go with your 16s. If you want to do a custom size, you can do that as well. For the spacing, that's going to dictate how far apart the rhinestones are from each other. So the more you increase the spacing, the more spread out the rhinestones are going to be. So as our layers go out, we're going to increase that spacing. So for this first one, again, it's going to be totally your preference on how far apart you want them and what look you're going for. Let's go. All right. And let's just go ahead and give these some color. We're just going to make them this dark gray, make it look like they're kind of silver. I'm going to grab the second layer, hit the rhinestone outline. Again, I'm keeping them the same size. If you wanted to change the size, I would recommend going from bigger to smaller. As it goes out, the rhinestone typically gets smaller. And then I'm going to adjust my spacing. Let's go. All right, there we go. Again, apply the color. And I'm going to move this up just a little bit. 0.1 color. All right, grab my next layer, apply my rhinestones, increase it. And if you're not set on the look that you get, you can always go back and change. Grab my next layer. And grab my out just so I can kind of see. So you can see kind of in the middle, they're a little bit tighter. And as they go out, they kind of spread out a little bit more. I do want to make a small adjustment between my first layer of rhinestones and my second. So I'm going to grab the second layer and I'm going to increase this just a little bit. And if you can get it with the click, you can just grab the slider until you get the look that you want, or you can type in a specific number. So let's do 0.2. All right. Now, if you are actually going to be using rhinestones, you know that the rhinestone sizes vary based on the size of the stones. So you would want to adjust your design to the size that you want it to be completed before you were to release any of your stone layers. So I'm going to grab all of this. Currently, everything is 17.5 inches wide, which is kind of large. So we're going to bring that down. This does look good as an oversized print. So any of the ones that you've seen me posting online, they've been between 14 and 15 inches. Again, whatever your shirt size is, that could help dictate what size you do these. So of course, a youth shirt, you may not be able to go that large. And on your plus size shirts, you can definitely go up even more. All right. So now that I have it to where the size that I kind of wanted, I can look to see if, my stone placements are still feasible. So these here, I'm going to increase just a little. All right. And so far, so good. So I'm going to grab this inside layer, this layer of stones. See, it has a few of them there in the middle. And I'm going to go ahead and hit release stones. And you can see now each of these are individual layers. Now, me personally, I don't want the stones or the spangles to be in the middle of the design here, but this is totally a personal preference. So if you don't mind it, you can just leave them there. I'm gonna grab this layer, release the stones so I can get all of these middle pieces out. If you know a more efficient way to do this, feel free to use that method. Take that one out. Here in between the T and the A, you can make a choice if you want it to go down in there or not. I'm just going to go ahead and remove it. Just let that shirt shine through. If you don't like it, guess what? You can always put them back. But I kind of just want my stones to go around the outside. We're going to remove these two. And then these in here. Now, once you remove them, you may decide you actually did like them. And you can leave it in there. All right. And your design is ready to cut. So you would cut your black layer with your HTV, your burgundy layer with HTV, and then your silver layer. I recommend something shiny for your spangle layer. So I like to use either metallic or hologram. That's going to make it give that bling and look like it's stones, even though it's HTV. And then what you've typically been seeing me do is my puff vinyl for the middle and maybe like a glitter or a plain vinyl for the outline. But again, the preference is totally yours. You can do whatever you prefer. All right, so if you have any other questions, feel free to drop those down in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, and share this video, and I will see you guys on the next one.